Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You have tuned in to a Lap It Up, and I could have cleaned my glasses before I started this video. That's how a real man cleans his glasses. Because I should actually have a little. You get one when you get the new glasses, especially when you get very expensive glasses like these. I have astigmatism in one eye, so one of my lenses is actually a bit thicker than the other, so I get the expensive, scientifically shrunk down version for one side. I'm not blind, you know. I mean, like from here I can see the little sign that says reserved parking, state disabled. Oh, I got something in my eye. It's early morning. Permanent required thing. But it's fuzzy. Oddly enough, it's more fuzzy when you have my glasses and then I take them off versus like first thing in the morning. If I'm walking around the house, it's not as blurry. It is blurry, but I can't read street signs if I'm driving. Usually too blurry unless I'm like right on them. So, but I can see lights. I can see lines in the road. I can see other vehicles. So if I didn't have my glasses, technically I could, but I have to have glasses to drive, really. I'm probably not going to drive without them unless something like, if they break mid-drive or something, I'll have like one up here like going, okay, all right. Anyway, if y'all knew that. Calypso Coral Blast Lemonade. This is one of those shake well drinks. Calypso's got a lot of lemonades, and I really have done probably 8 of them. But they've got, I think they've got more, but calories 240 per container. They're 1 serving per container. 4 milligrams of sodium. Nice. Trying to cut down on the sodiums, but 58 grams of carbs for it, 56 are from sugars. So we're kind of the party starter. Like that. That's nice. We are a bit. Where's the? Do this at home, kids. Then again, if you're going to do it anywhere, be safe. Do it at home. Let's get to driving. So, just updates. It is December 1st. For me, anyway. This might be for December 1st for y'all. Well, it might be the 2nd, depending on how I upload this. Work has been steady, give or take issues. We got another guy leaving. He just feels like he wasn't a good fit for the job. There's a lot of tension in a workplace sometimes, especially when you have an older generation versus a newer generation. Now, I'm kind of part of the older generation, but I don't. You learn things, okay? You get, like, say if you work at a restaurant, you're told that the freezer is very important. You treat this oven a certain way, because if it breaks down, you know, it's blah, blah, blah. So when you get new people in, and you've been given the runaround about the machines, this is something that came up with one of my guys, was that the machines are our life's blood. It was annoying when it was told to me, and when I tried to explain it to the guys, I, you know, kind of did it in a similar manner, but not in the same, hopefully not in the same vehemence. But basically, it was, you know, whenever somebody's geared up to, hey, we should just fix the machine or do this with the machine, I'm kind of like, fuck with the machine. You know, it's not going to be good. So we usually let so-and-so and so-and-so do it. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I won't touch it then. You know, and in most cases, that's probably the best thing to do. If you're new, don't get your hands into a machine that you don't know how to mess with, especially when it's not like everybody's job to do. You know, not everybody's been trained in how to operate the machinery 100%. You can use it, but troubleshooting, not everybody knows how to do that. And you're trying to jump in to do all of it. And it literally, when I was trained, my manager was just like, if you're gonna mess with the machine. It's like, it's messing with our lifeblood. You break the machine, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, now, if I knew now what I knew then, I would have just probably popped off with something, snarky, as in, like, what am I going to break? I'm adjusting these things, and I'm going to try to adjust them as best I can to this particular thing. There's no way this can, it's going to break. It might not cut properly, and I'll know it, hopefully. I might not. I might have to recut some extra keys, which, yes, we'll lose a little money on the customer coming back saying, hey, my keys didn't work. But then I'll know they didn't work and I can do adjustments, right? That's the plan anyway. But yeah, so I had to kind of focus that on, especially when you get some people who have, they're kind of like, oh God, I can do this. If it's having an issue, we should totally fix it. And you've got to be like, okay, but then your vehemence at telling them, hey, you don't know what you're messing with. Stop jumping into it. Or, look, this is what's important. And you tell them what's important. And it goes a little overboard. Like, for example, when I'm cutting machines, cutting on the machines, some of the guys will run back and forth behind me. I'm a big guy. And I got a machine cutting in front of me. And you have very little space in between. So when you're trying to cut in front of me, I had to push forward towards the cutting. So I remember one time I was like, don't go behind me when I'm cutting. Just said that. I was like, don't go behind me when I'm cutting. And he remembered that. And I was just like, well, okay. When somebody's cutting on the machine, you definitely don't want to go right behind them because they might not have enough room to move forward. So we got enough room to go around. But sometimes you can. Sometimes it's not that big of a deal, especially if the person isn't actually physically cutting at that time. But a lot of times we give a little bit of people a little bit of grace. If the machine is going, you go around. Or give them a sec, they cut the key, they stop, you go, go forward. Well, anyway. And as I was saying, that's like that mentality of being trained to where these things are important and you got chewed out, or like, hey, don't do this because if you do this. So you have to go, hey, look, if you do this, you're going to get chewed out. It's like, just don't mess with it. And then that just goes down the line. Or say you're somebody who's been trained in, using tools, mechanics and everything, and you're a new guy, comes into a business where you have no formal training in that aspect, but you don't have any tools. And people are like, how can you be a certain amount of years old and not know what a blah, blah, blah is? Or and it's like, okay, we can not be a dick. We can you can still be a seasoned technician and not be a dick to me, And there's a lot of that. And that tends to, it really upsets people, and it's not a good thing. It shouldn't be done. And like acting like somebody doesn't know anything, or treating somebody just because they're new like an idiot. Not cool. And sometimes we have some technicians who can be a bit rude sometimes. Or they mock and chide and pick. Like after you do a job, you've done a job a couple times, you're still not quite used to it, and you kind of mess up on a third job or something, and they're just like, well, you just don't know fucking what you're doing, do you? It takes time, to learn the job. It's not like they're going to school for it. You're technically teaching them by going out and doing the job. So, anyway, there's a bit of issue with that. Plus, so he ended up, he's going to be going. He's going to stick around and help out, train new guys when they come in. But from what I understand, he's just going to be working contract just whenever we need help after that, because he's moving on to something else. Which upsets me because I really like having him around. He's a good technician, but honestly, he's kind of gotten fucked over with some other stuff, mostly because of some issues with him working and how people kind of treat him. But it's just one of those things where it's like, yes, if you screw up a lot, you're not going to be like number one choice to do this. But there are certain things, like he's been here longer than a lot of some of the newer technicians, and some of the newer guys are getting kind of benefits or patted on the back a bit more than he is. I mean, like where it's like, okay, you should, like certain things that would normally be given to a more seasoned technician are being offered to these new guys, and he's just kind of like, okay, you know what, gotta go. And that's fair. It's a fair point. It's a fair thing. There's definitely some definitely managerial issues. There's interpersonal content, you're doing back and forth that comes into play when you have a business like this. The service industry can be really, really painful. But anyway, so he's leaving, and I talked really good with him. There's a lot of even for a younger kid. I mean, I say kid, he's not a kid, but yeah, a younger guy. There's a lot of things like we connect on a certain level, especially in entertainment and stuff like that. So it's fun to have somebody to talk to, but it's gonna wait for, I guess, train the next technician, and hopefully you get along. And that was kind of things like getting along with your coworkers is a really big thing, and I don't think that's one thing we've really gotten to yet. But here I am. It's like 11 minutes in. Jesus. But yeah, let's fuck. Yeah. But yeah, no, that's one of the things that I want to talk about. Like that's happening. So that's like I said, it's a little bit of a bummer, That's nice. Yeah, it says Coral Blast, but it's like a cherry lemonade, really. A cherry, like maybe a cherry pineapple, or lemon. So it's got the lemonade, but it's like a cherry pineapple lemonade. I like that. That's a good flavor. And it's not too sharp in the lemonade area, so it's good lemonade, but it's not too bitey. I like that. Flavors all really rounded, really well. That's nice. Coral Blast. Yeah, it's a good lemonade. Man, I'm gonna give this a 4 on the 5. I'm gonna give it an 8 on the 10 scale. It's a really, really good lemonade. But yeah, no, I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. Like this, it's end of the year, start of a new year coming up pretty soon, in about a month. So there's going to be new things and new directions to go. I've been trying to do some more game videos. I've also been hanging out with KBPB. If you guys have checked him out on Twitch, awesome guy. His birthday's actually coming up here pretty soon. So happy birthday, KB. But besides that, I've also been hanging out with Bolines, Rybeline, and Suzabeline. They're awesome. You check them out on Twitch. I'll put their stuff down. But no, I've been playing Minecraft with them because they have a Minecraft server and they like vanilla, and I've been playing a bit of Minecraft with them. But with new 1.18, I don't know if they're planning on updating the server or what, but I played a little bit, and it's interesting. It seems like there's more caves, is just the whole thing. There's just more big chunks of open, like, rents in the ground where you could fall in and die if you're running away from something. Or if you're just walking across and just... But, that being said, I've also been playing Golf It and Pummel Party with them, so if you want to check out some of their stuff. I also will probably do a little bit of recording with them and put some stuff up, but I'll get their I gotta get the permissions first. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I'm starting to party with some other people. Upload's still an issue. I've ended up having to do it here at the shop versus at home. If I do it at home, it'll take a little bit, but I can still do it at home because I figured a way of doing it easier. But anyway, as always, I am Sir Drinks a Lot. I am wishing you health, wealth, and love with enough time and gusto to enjoy it all, down to the last drop. Catch you guys later.